Me and my wife have two children, Nora and Nakia, and she's pregnant with our third child that's due in June. We're a little bit nervous about the trials and difficulties that come with having a baby, both in pregnancy and afterwards, but we're also excited about the joys that will happen not only in the first year, but for many years to come. As I thought about my wife's pregnancy, I realized that there's a lot of similarities between having a real baby and multiplying a small group. The first is that it takes time to grow a baby. My wife will be pregnant for approximately 9 months, and she's trying to be healthy. And the same thing happens with small groups. You can't just continually multiply small groups. You need a healthy place for them to multiply from, for them to grow and to come from in a healthy way. So you can't rush that process. Another thing is that birth can be painful. I mean, anything worth doing often has some form of pain in one way or another, but birth is one of the most painful experiences that someone can go through. But it's the joy that comes afterwards that you need to keep your mind focused on. The same is true in small group multiplication. It might be difficult to multiply, to have those conversations, to actually have the baby and to feel like you're splitting in two, but really there's a joy that comes after it, even though there is some pain in the midst of it. Another similarity is that all are different. My first two daughters had two different experiences as my wife went into labor and had the baby. And the same thing's true with groups. Each group is different, so multiplication will look slightly different for each group. And that means that you need to look at what it's going to look like for your group. Another similarity is you can't wait too long. For both of my wife's pregnancies, she wanted to have natural births, but the doctors came and, because of different circumstances, said that something's not right, so we need to rush this along for the health of both you and for the health of the baby. For small groups, the same is true. You can't wait too long because it's going to affect the health of the current group and possibly the health of whatever group might come next. It's best for you and the coming group to multiply at the right time and not to wait too long. Also, when a baby is born, another connection between the two is that you can still stay connected. Mother doesn't abandon a baby as soon as it's born and leave it out on its own. Same thing's true with group multiplication. You don't have to abandon the other members of your group or however you multiply the group. You can still connect with them on a regular basis to mentor them, to help them mature. And as they mature and grow older in their group experience, you can maybe separate a little bit more of their dependency, but you can still stay connected in friendship, in fellowship, and in joy with one another. And finally, the last similarity is that when you multiply a group or when you have a baby, there is joy as you see the growth and the new things that the other group learns and the things that you learn as well. I've loved how I've grown as a person, as a father, through being a father of my children. And the same thing's true when we multiply, that both we can grow and others can grow. So it's a joyful process. I encourage you to start this process. Maybe think about where you are in the process and what might be your next step in helping your group help other people experience community in the same way.